Hey everyone, hope you're doing good, that you're learning some useful GCP networking stuff if you've been watching my previous videos. So in today's video, we'll do a simple, quick test to see if instances in different regions across the world have the ability to communicate so long as they're in the same network and firewall rules are enabled. So if you remember from a previous video, we created 3 instances, instance 1, instance 2, and instance 3. They all have their own peculiarities based on the different network configurations that they're set up in. However, they're all part of the same network. Remember, we named it our network. Yeah, pretty boring name. So all these instances are underneath this one network, and 2 of them are within the same subnet, except this one. So instance 2 is within a different subnet called Dutch subnet 2. We've already gone ahead and tested that we can actually communicate by default by just enabling some firewall rules between these 3 instances. However, all these instances are actually within the same region. The question today is, can instances in different parts of the world, so different regions, communicate by default so long as they're part of the same network? So let's go ahead and test that out. PC network and dive into VPC networks. Let's go ahead and create another subnet that's not within the same region, in a totally different region. Let's add a subnet. Let's call it US West because we want to make ours in LA. US West subnet. So the region, US West 1. And let's make this more specific actually. And let's create an IP address range. So let's do 10.98.0.0. Let's do it /20. Private Google access, nah. Flow logs, no. And let's add this subnet. So after a few seconds, our subnet has been created. Now let's go create a VM within this subnet and test to see if they can actually communicate with our other European virtual machines. Let's call this one US West VM 1. We'll create it within the US West region, US West 2. I think I created US West 1. Let's leave it at Oregon, it's fine. Let's allow HTTP traffic and HTTPS, but this is for the internet, so that anybody can access your virtual machine on port 80 or 88 on port 80 or port 443. You can leave everything as is. So within the networking section, let's select our network. Our network, the subnet is US West 1. Correct. We can leave this as is. Leave that as is. I think we're good to go. Let's start our other virtual machines. And let's SSH into all of them. So I'm going to go ahead and install a Netcat in this virtual machine. All right, moment of truth. Let's try and connect from VN1 to this particular virtual machine. So we'll make this one the server. The netcat -L-P on port 8080. So in this virtual machine, we'll try and target this particular instance. We'll do netcat. We'll get the IP address for this VM, which is 10.98.0.2, and on port 8080. Type hey, and there we go. You can. Sweet. And what you know, you can actually communicate. So let's take a look at our firewall rules, and we'll be focusing pretty much on the firewall rules in this section, our network. So we have the default ones that just allow any traffic throughout the internet on port 80 and 443. I've kind of duplicated that over here as well on port 80, 443, and added the 8080. And this particular firewall rule applies to VMs with this particular IP address range. So 10.100.0.2, 10.999. This one over here I think is VM1, this is VM2. And this is a network range. Now, if you guys paid close attention, the VM I created in Oregon falls within this network range, and that's why it's actually able to communicate on this particular ports. If I change the IP address of the one in Oregon, it'll fall out of this particular range and communication will not be allowed. So I guess this is not much of like a eureka moment, but it is good to know that so long as you have a single network, all your virtual machines have the ability to communicate with each other so long as you set up adequate firewall rules, and it really doesn't matter what subnet they're in. So you can have one in Tokyo, another one in Brazil. So long as they're in the same network, any virtual machine has the ability to talk to each other so long as you set up the right firewall rule. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. I like doing these tester videos to kind of test people's knowledge and everything. And in case people are a bit confused, just to re-clarify some things. I'll be doing more as we go along through more of the concepts in GCP. All right, take care.